after we require OpenURI, we're going through some stuff we've done before. We're printing out this line. It's similar to P. I think it, for all intents and purposes, it does the same thing here. It might be different, technically speaking. Then we're going through and we're getting user input and we're setting it equal to a variable website. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm actually not going to bore you by walking through every single step of this. What we're doing is a lot of text processing. And it's not perfect. This could definitely be improved on. I did some things that you could certainly do a little differently. But at any rate, I'm going to show you how to go through and understand every line of this. And remember as we go through this, this is definitely, I'm not teaching you all of the fundamentals before, excuse me, before giving you an example. I'm giving you an example and you're going to infer the fundamentals, and then as we go I'll try to bring out certain things. Let's look at these if, else, and. If you've never seen this, it reads pretty much like English. If I had to guess, I mean, and I'm biased because I have seen this before, but just reading this, I would say if website has more than one period, or more than two, rather, do this stuff. Else, if there's one period, do this. Otherwise, set this equal to nil. And that's right. Basically, whenever you see an if the expression that follows it evaluates to true, do whatever's inside. Same thing with else if, and then else is sort of your default situation. It's what happens if nothing turned out to be true. So to demonstrate some of this stuff, let me show you some stuff in IRB. Okay, so in here I'm gonna act like we've already gotten some user input from the user, and I'm gonna set website equal to techmaker.tv. Okay, so we have a website variable. If I just enter website, it's gonna give me techmaker.tv, and it's a string. You can see that because it's between quotes. So let's actually do the first thing that was in there. So we do website dot index dot enter. Okay. So it's going to look through the website, which is techmaker.tv, and it's going to find the dot and tell me what position it's in. Now, if you go back and count, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's not at the 9th position, it's at the 10th position. The reason for this is in programming, things are 0 indexed, which means you start counting at 0. So now if I do, let's say that I set that equal to, what do we do in the code? Let's go back and check this out. So I set first letter equal to website.index.1, or of dot plus 1. So let me just copy that and then we'll run that and see what it does. And what I'm trying to show you here is you can go in IRB and play with this stuff. Like, the first thing you need to do if you want to play with it is create something to work with. So I created a variable equals techmaker.tv, and that pretty much gets us a good starting point to play with all of the stuff in here. So let me just paste this in. First letter equals website.index, so that's equal to 10. So if I want to know, in reality this is wrong because the website URL that I gave it only has one dot, so we're actually in this section. So let me edit this. Website equals www.techmaker.tv. Now, if I do website index, I hope this is helpful and not too boring. So now the index is at the 3rd position, so 0, 1, 2, 3. And now if I do let me just hit the up arrow. So first letter equals website dot index of the period plus 1. So the first letter is at position 4. And you want to be really good with your variable names, and I may have not done the best job in the actual program there, but we could actually call this first letter position, and that's a better name. It's a little wordy, but now we could do website first letter position, and it's going to tell us T. So let's go back and let's do like one more line of this, and then we're going to jump after this. Let's see, so after first letter, this is a lot of just bouncing around. Again, like, this is not perfect. You could definitely find ways to improve on this, and I encourage you to do that as practice. But let's say, let's just copy these lines. Okay. Somebody pointed out you actually don't need this after first letter line. There's a shortcut, but this is really explicit. So that gives us the position of the letter after the first letter. Then the last letter is, so what we're trying to do here is actually extract the title of the website so that we can save it to a file name called like techmaker.html. So I'm trying to, like, if somebody gives me www.techmaker.tv, I want to extract out the Techmaker part. So just go through here with each of these lines and just see what all of them do on your own. But then if I do this website title, this should print out Techmaker. Yep. Okay. So let's move on. Okay, one quick last point before we go on to the next stuff. If you look at this website.index dot and then you have this after first letter, what this is doing is when you just tell it dot, it finds the first dot in the string. If you give it a location after that, it's going to start looking there. So this one up here, website.index dot, finds the first dot. This one, website index dot after first letter, actually finds the second dot because it starts looking after the first dot. Alright, so let's try to wrap this up. So let's go back to the code and let's just take a look at this. I'm not going to talk about this that much here, but this section, the functionality here is coming from this require open URI stuff. And you can feel free, and I encourage you to dive into that a little bit on your own, but basically what it's doing is it's just opening the website you give it, reading the content, setting it equal to a variable, and then we're creating a new file with this write permission. W is write, so basically we're just writing a new file with all of the content from that website. And if you want, one thing I would encourage you to do is like play with this in IRB as well, and like do things like, I'm not going to go back to IRB and do all this right now, but like you could do at this point, what you want to do is at every point you want to do like print or even puts file. Like, so if you're in IRB, you might enter file, you require open URI, and then you would like file equals whatever, and then you would puts file into what you have, and then you would like, I don't know, just play with each thing that you can and just push all the buttons and see what you can get it to do. You're not going to break anything, just really have a good time. I think that's it for this lesson. This has been quite a bit for this, so go through as much as you can and post any questions down in the comments. Also, if you have any more general questions, you can post them in the forum, and hopefully everybody's trying to help each other out over there. So thanks, and I'll talk to you next time.